Hello, basketball coaches and basketball players. My name is Alan from House Basketball Training, and today I'm going to talk to you about how you can create your own basketball game plan. So hello everyone, my name is Alan from House Basketball Training. On this channel I normally show you basketball plays, drills, and skills, so if you like that stuff, hit that like button and subscribe. But anyways, today I'm going to talk to you about how you can make a game plan. Now, a game plan is very important because this is basically your strategy on how you can defeat the other team and how you can beat the other team. So, the first thing that I like to map out is, do I know their offense and their defense? How do they play offensively and how do they play defensively? So on offense, are they really good shooters? Can they jump really high to get rebounds? That kind of thing. Are they driving towards the basket? Are they settling for jumpers along the baseline? Things like that. And then on defense, are they pressing at the beginning of the game? Do I need to warn my team about that? Are they playing a zone defense majority of the time? Are they playing a man-to-man defense? If you know that stuff, it makes it a lot easier to game plan. So, if you're playing against a team, I always like to, if I can, see that team play beforehand. That way I can see things like, are they good shooters? Is there one player who is just phenomenal? Things like that are very important to know before you play against a team. It really sucks if you're playing against a team you know nothing about. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be releasing this right away on my website, but I'm going to be linking to it in the comment as well as in the description below. A little form that you can fill out before each and every game about the opposing team you're playing against. So obviously, you already have your plays that you have set. Your team already knows the plays. You're not going to be, you're coaching probably, at least if I'm talking to you, you're probably coaching high school and elementary level. So you're not going to be going out there and teaching new plays for every game or every team you're playing against. So I'm not going to be talking to you about that. You've got your set 5, 10, 15, 20 plays that you're running with your team, and that's it. Now, obviously, you've got your zone offenses and you've got your man-to-man offenses. So now that you know what type of defense that they're running, they're running a 2-3 zone defense every single game, all game? Well, let's run our zone offense majority of the game. So now we know that. Now we're going to go over to the substitutions. So, are they a tall team? Are they a short team? Are they quick? Are they slow? Things like that. Now, what we're going to be doing now is, okay, I'm going to figure out what substitutions I need to do. So, I always have my assistant coach do the substitutions, or at least I never did it when I first started coaching, and then I was an assistant coach for 1 year in Oakville, and then I turned back into a head coach. And when I was an assistant coach, their assistant coach, there was 2 of us. The other one, he was doing the lineups for each game. So he was meticulous about this. He was like, okay, we're playing up against a tall team. They're huge. They have 5 guys who are over 6'4", and it's grade 9. So what we need to do is we need to get our 2 centers starting the game. Next, we're going to be running a little bit of a taller lineup, and then what we're going to do is once we start wearing them out, because this one team we were playing against, they were a team that, because they were such larger players, they were getting worn out quicker. But our guys were more athletic, but that doesn't matter at this point. We were starting our taller players to battle with their taller players. And then what we did 4 minutes into the game was pull our tall players, put our athletic players in, and that way now we can run them dead until the end of the quarter. Now, we also seen in that game and prior games that we were watching before we played up against them was the coach never did any substitutions for the whole first quarter, which is a mistake in most cases. But we ran them ragged from the 4-minute mark to the 8-minute mark. Our quarters up here are 8 minutes long. And we ran them ragged for the last 4 minutes of that quarter. Finally, he switched them out because it was the end of the quarter. He went on to another set of rotation players except for their starting center. And then we put our starting center back in, who was an inch taller than him, who had rest, because now we ran them ragged. So you can run strategies like that. What type of substitutions they're running. This is just a small example on what you can do as a coach yourself on how you can defeat other teams much easier. So, I was coaching, when I went back to being a head coach, I was coach of the number 2 team, which means that there was 2 teams in that age group for the same organization. There was a number 1 team and a number 2 team. I was coach for the number 2 team, and we were going up against the number 1 team in an exhibition game just to see where we stacked up. And I didn't know much about their team. I only got to see them for a very brief time running in the first half. So I was able to strategize for the first half and see how we could run it. So I ran my 1-4 zone, my 1-4 defense, the book is below. I ran that in the first half to see how we would stack up. And then I wanted to run a few different options just because, why not? They're not going to be doing the same thing they did in the first half and the second half. So what my plan was to battle against their more athletic players with taller players. And I would take them down to the post offensively. On defense, because I had 4 taller players, and then their more athletic players, my 1-4 defense was able to basically suffocate them from the free throw line and down. So then they were stuck shooting more 3-point shots, which they weren't as good at as we were, which worked out really well for us. So that was one strategy that I ran against them, because this way we can score more and then defend more, and just works out a lot better. Another strategy I ran against them was I knew that they were a slashing team. So I warned my team, hey, they're going to be cutting and driving towards the rim because they're not as great of shooters as you might think they are. So we're going to try and make it so that we can double team them when they start driving, so they have to kick it out for a 3-point shot. So that way I knew what was going on. We actually were up against the number 1 team. I think we were up by, 18 points against the number 1 team, which shouldn't be happening. They're AAA, we were single A, which is 2 levels below, same age group, but 2 levels below them, but we were up at halftime by, I think, around 18 points. We ended up losing that game by 5. However, in that second half, they figured out that, hey, we were not allowing them to drive towards the rim. So what they did instead was they did have a shooter on their team who was able to get in. And then I didn't run my 1-4 defense because I really didn't want that coach to kind of figure it out, because I knew that if we could play up to certain levels, we might be playing them in the playoffs. It was a possibility, so I wanted to be able to keep that defense more of a secret, because that coach, at that time I didn't publish my book, so it was more of a secret to my own self. And then I ran a 3-2 zone after I started seeing them drain 3 threes to start off the half, and I was starting as a man-to-man, went into a 3-2 to suffocate the 3-point line, and that's when they started driving on us again. And I wanted to keep that 1-4 zone defense kind of private to myself up until 2 years later. That's when I published my book. This isn't a sales video for my book or anything like that. I just wanted to give you some strategies on how you can beat teams. So, of course, there's going to be a free link very soon. I don't know when I'm going to implement that webpage where you can print off and write down notes about other teams. I'm going to be giving that resource very soon. I'm going on a trip to Florida very soon, so that's going to be in the middle. So probably a month or 2 after I've released this video, you're going to be seeing that. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow for another daily basketball video. I hope that this video has helped you.